Good morning, everybody. We are in the beginning of August, and we are going to be opening up this little thing that I bought that I'm so excited about. As I had told you, I think in a couple previous videos, I was doing some water bath canning, and with pressure canning and a flat top electric stove, the pressure canners could possibly crack the top of your stove. So I was thinking, I'm just not going to be able to pressure can. And I had a client that gave me her old Presto pressure canner, and I really wanted to use the pressure canning as a way of preserving our food, because I don't want so much stuff being taken up in the freezer. I also want it on my shelves and also dehydrated. The other thing that's going to be a big investment that I want to do probably in the next 2 years, I have to give myself grace because it's an investment, is a freeze dryer. But for now, I was like, what else can I do? And I came up with, well, why can't I just do something? I saw something, somebody was doing something on this small thing outside on their patio that was hooked to a propane tank. And it was just this single burner thing that she did even her water bath canning on. I'm like, oh, why can't I do something like that? You know, because it's outdoors, you're not creating the heat in the house. And I started looking things up, and I looked on Amazon and I found this guy. Look at this. It's a double burner, and I could do a pressure canner and a water bath canner if I wanted to, and it would hold both of them. Do 2 pressure canners, but I don't have 2 pressure canners. But I did read the reviews on some of them, and some of them didn't have the most sturdy legs. So I'm gonna get this put together and see how it goes with the legs. But this one had really good reviews. It's called Camp Chef. Powerful, portable, versatile. You can use it while you're camping, hunting, fishing, tailgating, at your cabin if you have one, if you went out scouting, for home canning, emergency preparedness. Of course, that's one of my main things right now. And camping outdoors. So I'm gonna start getting this put together, and I'll come back after we get this all set up. Hey, you guys, we're back. I wanted to just come back really quick. When I first opened this box, and I thought, oh, this is intimidating for me. Anything that's a grill, propane, involves putting things together, I'm like, here you go, Tom. But unfortunately, he's had to be working a lot, so I have a few minutes before I have to go to work this morning. And I just wanted to show you, when I opened it up, there were some reviews on there that the legs were unsturdy and things like that. I'm not finding that. And it came with a directions. There's no really directions for putting it together because it's very, very simple. And it came with a book on all of their different products.
We have the directions.
And it does come with directions for how to do the propane. And that part I will leave to Tom, because I'm just not comfortable with that. But when I opened the box, it was wrapped, but it wasn't set in cardboard. So there could be a potential for damage if your delivery person wasn't being intentional with, you know, the products that he's carrying. But thankfully ours was, and I'm not finding any damage. And then inside this bag here, it had the legs. And the legs were wrapped up, and they have this screw right here, and you're literally putting this on this piece. Unscrew it so that it can fit in, lefty-loosey. It would be the one that I'm showing you guys that gives me the hardest time, which is really funny because the other ones were so easy. And this one wants to be difficult. That's funny. Okay, just a little bit more elbow grease and we're good. Okay, then you push it up as far as it can go in. And then you're gonna tighten it down where it's not gonna come out. And you guys, here we go. Look at that. Ooh, isn't she a beauty? So there's that. The propylene comes back here. And then it also came with a windscreen for so that would go in here, I believe. Got to go on the outside. So we'll connect that, but yeah, that's how it goes. So pretty simple to hook up or set up, not a big deal. And when I get ready to use this, I will bring you along to show you exactly how it works. Hi everybody and welcome back to Crazy Bees. My name is Debbie. If this is your first time joining us, thank you so much. And if you've been with us all along, thank you also and welcome back. Today we are going to be doing turkey stock. We started it the other day and I had put it in the refrigerator for the fat to come to the surface. And as you can see, I took most of the fat off of the surface of this one. I'm gonna just skim the rest of this off of here. And then I'm going to do the same with this one here. And then once we're done with that, we have to put this on the stove and bring it to a boil. And then after we get done with that, we are going to take the pressure canner and we're going to put that out on the stove outside and we're gonna bring that to just to warm. We're not gonna get it to start boiling. Candace is picking on my speech right now.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to breathe. I got eaten by mosquitoes.
So we are going to take this pressure cooker and get it warm, the water warm inside of it. And then I have my jars in the dishwasher. You can put your jars halfway full in the canner and bring them up to temperature in the canner, but I like doing my jars in the dishwasher, sanitizing them, then filling them, and then putting them in the canner. It also makes it easier for me that way because of my stove being outside and not using my glass stove top inside. And I do have a video on that as to why we do that. I also have my lids in here. Once we get going with the process, I will turn those on. I have my vinegar water here so that I can use my paper towel and my measuring. Candace thinks I have things on the counter that are messy. This is my paper towel to dip into my vinegar to clean off my top of my jars. And this is the measurer. We're going to be doing 1-inch headspace because we're pressure canning today. And then I also have my lids right here. I have my ladle, my jar lifters, and my magnet for the, my goodness, for these right here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So you get all of these things. You can get them all, or you can get them individually. But this is a great thing because when these are hot, you don't want to reach your hand in there, and it's hard to reach them with a fork. So I'm gonna get this skimmed off. I'm gonna get it to boiling, and then when I have that ready to go, we'll come back and we'll start the next step. Hi everybody, we're back. Our is about ready to go. I'm going to do 4 jars at a time, and since I have to carry it outside, I'm going to put it in this pan so that I don't accidentally spill something. Okay. And then, like I said, we have to fill to 1-inch headspace. As you can see, we got our water is starting to boil here, and it's almost ready to boil in that one. By the time we're done here, that one will be boiling. And we can do 7 quarts in the pressure canner at a time. So we're gonna start with this one. Remember, everything that you do has to be the same temperature. So my jars are hot, the liquid that I'm putting into my jars is hot, and the pressure canner that I am putting my jars into is also hot. If you don't do it this way, you risk cracking your jars. Okay, so 1 inch should be about right there. Let's pop that off and take a look. Right there, yep. It's like right below the lip. Okay, so we're gonna fill each one of these. Okay, we've got 4 of those ready to go. And now I've dipped my paper towel into that vinegar water, and I'm going to wipe these off. And as I'm wiping them, I'm going to be checking and feeling for any cracks or nicks or anything like that in those jars. I already did that when I put them in the dishwasher, but I do it again just to make sure that nothing happened while they were processing. And then we put our lids on. And then we screw on fingertip tight. So you get it on there and then you give it a little squeeze, but not too much. Okay, now we're gonna take our jar lifter and we're gonna go outside with Candace. Okay, now we are outside at our stovetop here, and you can bring your water up to 180 degrees before it starts boiling, and we are at, oh look at that you guys, 180. Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna set these guys in here, and then I'm going to go and get the rest of the jars, get those in here, and then we'll put this lid on and start the process. Okay everybody, we're back. I've got all 7 jars in the canner, and I am now going to put on the lid, where if you look on your lid, you have an arrow. Look at you guys, I'm trying to find it right here. It's an arrow here and an arrow there. So you line up your arrows and then you turn. Make sure it's locked into place. And I'm gonna have to go like this in order to see my gauge. Well, I could turn my pot. That would be better. Okay, so once this starts steaming and there's a constant stream of steam coming out of here, I will put this on. And then it has to cook for 15 minutes at 11 pounds of pressure. Now, if you have a Presto canner and you're not sure how to use it, you were given it by somebody, you don't have the instructions, you can go online. A dear client of mine did this for me, and look up the Presto pressure canner guide. It tells you exactly how to run your pressure canner. And I wasn't sure how much water I was supposed to be putting in here. and it literally said 3 quarts of water. So now I know that I always have to have 3 quarts of water in my pressure canner anytime that I do my canning. And then for my recipe for my stock, I did turkey stock instead of chicken, but I found that on page 401 of, this is becoming my favorite book, the Ball Preserving book. And it has the full recipe of what you do with your chicken stock. And so if you want to see any more of the other my first recipe that I did, the reason we're going to put a link to that for you, but the reason that I made sure to use the gauge for the headspace today instead of guesstimating where an inch was because when I did my carrots, which is going to be in that link, I had a lot of siphoning because I didn't check the headspace right. So when I did my carrots, first I did it at too high of a PSI. It was supposed to be at 11 and it was running at 15. So today I'll make sure that this doesn't get higher than 11. And then I also didn't have the right headspace. So it's very important to follow the guidelines. Thankfully my carrots are still okay. I did have some siphoning, but as long as you have above a half, it's still half full of water and everything is sealed correctly, you will be fine. You might just have some discoloration in your vegetables or whatever it is that you preserved that's not under the water line. But if your seal is good, then you're okay. So we'll link that and we'll come back after we have this finished product and show you what it looks like.